Welcome, everyone. We are so excited that you're here with us today. I'm Bonnie Watson, and I teach fourth grade ELA in Austin, Texas.
And I'm Josie Wozniak, and I teach English and History in Southern California. Today, we're going to show you how to create your own writing prompts that connect directly to your curriculum, encourage deeper thinking, and save you time by using AI tools strategically.
But before we begin, we always like to start with this warning slide.
Because honestly, once students start enjoying writing, they begin asking to do it all the time.
Which is definitely the kind of classroom problem we want to have. So we know that teachers are all busy balancing a million things. Our goal today is not to give you more work.
It's actually the opposite. We want to show you a repeatable system that helps you create engaging prompts quickly and lets AI do some of the heavy lifting.
By the end of today, you'll have a formula that you can use over and over again for any subject area or any grade level.
Here are our goals for today.
We're going to show you how to create stronger writing prompts that lead to deeper thinking, apply a simple framework to design prompts quickly, use depth and complexity framework to improve prompts, and practical examples that teachers can use immediately.
We want you leaving today with strategies you can implement tomorrow in your classroom.
One of the biggest shifts that we can make is moving away from surface level prompts.
A lot of traditional prompts ask students to simply recall or summarize information.
But deeper prompts ask students to really analyze, interpret, defend ideas, or connect concepts.
Let's start with this question. What's the difference between a prompt that asks students to write and a prompt that asks students to think deeply?
A surface level prompt might say, write about ancient Egypt.
And students can respond to that, but it often leads to very basic writing.
But let's compare that to how did geography shape the power and beliefs of ancient Egypt?
That question immediately requires analysis and reasoning.
That's what we want. Strong prompts lead to deeper thinking, stronger writing, and better engagement.
One of the biggest tools we use when designing prompts is the depth and complexity framework. Depth and complexity is a thinking framework designed to help students move beyond surface level learning and engage in deeper, more complex thinking. It encourages students to analyze content through lenses such as patterns, perspectives, ethics, details, change over time, and unanswered questions.
The framework was originally developed by Dr. Sandra Kaplan and later expanded through the work of educators, including Bette Gould and Sheila Madsen. It's widely used to promote critical thinking, differentiation, and deeper understanding across all subject areas and grade levels.
Perspective, patterns, ethics, details, change over time, all of those lenses deepen students' responses.
We also highly recommend using the Gifted Guild's depth and complexity question stems when creating your prompts. These stems come from Ian Bird and Lisa Van Gemert, who generously allowed us to use these images in our webinar.
They're incredibly helpful because they provide ready-made thinking questions connected to each lens.
And honestly, they pair perfectly with AI tools.
You can prompt AI to use the depth and complexity framework or question stems directly from this book or any other resources which are readily available online to generate better prompts.
So instead of trying to invent deeper questions from scratch every single time, you're using an established framework to guide both student thinking and AI-generated prompts.
When creating challenge prompts in WeWillWrite, we are asked to consider the content, the standard or skill, tips to get students thinking, and the type of writing we want students to do, whether it's narrative, informational, or argumentative.
So we created a formula that we use over and over again using the depth and complexity framework to generate the prompts themselves.
Step 1 is to start with the content, standard, or skill you're trying to address.
Step 2, choose a depth and complexity lens.
And step 3 is to create that prompt in WeWillWrite.
So this includes choosing an image, adding background information, creating the challenge question, choosing the writing genre, and creating your writing tips.
Now let's talk about how AI fits into this process.
This is where teachers can save a huge amount of planning time.
Instead of building every piece manually, we can use AI tools to generate drafts using the exact formula.
So after choosing our favorite AI tool, we might type this: create a blank social studies writing prompt about blank, using the depth and complexity lens of perspective. To truly make it repeatable, frame it this way for the AI tool. Use these specific sections: the challenge, create one short sentence or phrase to explain the challenge using the depth and complexity lens of blank. Include one short sentence of details and background information for students. Include this genre of writing. Create 4 writing tips that answer the following questions: a question that helps your students think, an open-ended question that helps empower their creativity, a surprising or funny tip to help students relax, and a sentence starter.
That's pretty specific.
The more structure we give AI, the stronger the results become.
Using this formula, here's what I use to create writing prompt for Athens and Sparta in ancient Greece. Create 3 WeWillWrite prompts using the following list on the topic of Athens versus Sparta in ancient Greece. Include these specific sections. Challenge. Create one short sentence or phrase to explain the challenge using the depth and complexity lens of multiple perspectives. Include one short sentence of details and background information for students. Include this genre of writing, informational. Create 4 writing tips that answer the following questions: a question that helps students think, an open-ended question that helps empower their creativity, a surprising or funny tip to help students relax, and a sentence starter. And here are the results. Students will write an informational paragraph comparing everyday life in the 2 city-states. It provides us with background information for students. Athens and Sparta were both powerful Greek city-states, but their cultures were dramatically different. Athenians valued education, philosophy, and the arts. Spartans focused on discipline, strength, and military training. These differences shaped how people lived, learned, and worked. Then the depth and complexity lenses were details, rules, and big idea. So for details, what specific routines, jobs, or expectations shape daily life. For rules, what laws or social expectations influenced how people behaved. And big idea, how do values shape a society? So those could be 3 individual writing challenges. The writing tips were what part of daily life would feel most different if you lived in Athens instead of Sparta. Open question is, how might a child your age experience life differently in each city-state? Surprising or funny tip, imagine explaining your daily routine to a Spartan warrior. What would shock them? And the sentence starter, life in Athens and Sparta differed because. These are decent writing prompts for sure, asking students to compare and contrast. However, it is not very engaging. So we're going to make it fun.
Because rigorous writing does not have to feel boring.
AI is actually really good at helping teachers brainstorm creative twists.
You can ask the AI to add humor, turn the prompt into a debate, create a mystery, add role playing, or just make it more engaging for your reluctant writers.
Sometimes one creative adjustment completely changes student participation.
This is also where the revision becomes important.
AI gives us the starting point, not the final product. So after prompting it to make the prompt fun, this is what it's generated. A day in the life, but make it epic. Informational writing. Write an informational piece comparing daily life in Athens and Sparta, but imagine you're giving a behind-the-scenes tour like a travel vlogger from the ancient world. Athens loved ideas, art, and debate. Sparta loved strength, teamwork, and discipline. Their values shaped everything from school to chores to free time. The depth and complexity lenses include details, rules, and big ideas, so the same ones. What tiny detail daily routines made each place unique. What expectations shaped how people lived. How values shape a society's personality. And the fun writing tips that it generated were what part of each city's lifestyle would surprise a visitor the most? How would you describe each city-state's vibe? Pretend you're filming a top 5 weird things about my city-state video. And the sentence starter, if you lived in Athens or Sparta, your day would look like. As teachers, we may still need to revise based on student needs, standards, reading level, engagement, and classroom culture.
You might ask the AI to make this more engaging, add humor, make the writing tips more open-ended, increase the rigor, or simplify the prompt language for my grade level and for the WeWillWrite character limits. Let's talk about images, because images matter more than we sometimes realize.
A strong image immediately creates curiosity and emotional connection.
And AI tools can help generate image ideas or even create the images themselves.
Instead of using a generic image of a Spartan, we can use the writing prompts it created and ask it to generate an image based on the prompt. We figured out the size we needed and decided upon the style. So here's what we prompted it. Make a letterbox rectangular image 1920 by 1080 for a WeWillWrite prompt using an animated Pixar style. Make it based on an informational piece comparing daily life between Athens and Sparta from the perspective of a travel vlogger.
That instantly creates a scenario that students can step into mentally.
And the image becomes part of the storytelling and engagement.
Another great use of AI is revising prompts that you already use.
You don't always need to start from scratch.
Take an existing comprehension question and ask AI, revise this using the depth and complexity lens of perspective.
Or turn this into an argumentative writing challenge. Allow your students to write across text types and genres more frequently.
Small revisions can dramatically improve the level of thinking required. So here's an example I used in my classroom with the novel Zane and the Hurricane. I started with the starting question, what led Zane going to New Orleans, which is pretty surface level. But as soon as you change the prompt to include the perspective-taking lens, it becomes more engaging. Compare and contrast yourself to Zane if you were in his place.
This immediately shifts the question into something that requires students to step inside the text and make connections between themselves and the character. Now we challenge you to do some brainstorming.
Think about what you're teaching right now.
How could you use content standards, a depth and complexity lens, AI support, creative images, and engaging scenarios to create stronger writing opportunities for your students? We are full-time teachers. In our classrooms, we use WeWillWrite prompts to deepen discussion, increase engagement, and connect writing directly to our content.
We also use WeWillWrite for feedback and assessment because students explain their thinking in authentic ways.
The goal is always helping students see writing as a tool for thinking and not just an assignment.
Thank you all so much for joining us today.
We hope you leave feeling like prompt creation is something you can absolutely do and that AI can help make the process faster and easier.
Remember, AI helps generate the ideas,
but it's teachers who provide the purpose, rigor, and connection to students.
Thanks again, everyone.
Have a wonderful day.